Isang magandang buhay, ka-mathematics. Samahan niyo ako tungo sa kalidad. Pero bago natin simulan ang lesson natin ngayon, panoorin niyo muna ang intro ko. Pasok! Mga ka-mathematics, so isang panibagong lesson na naman ang ating matutunghayan ngayon. So welcome to Robin's Math Review. So ngayon nga po ay pag-aaralan natin ay tungkol sa algebraic expression o kung paano natin ito-translate ang isang verbal phrase into mathematical phrase. Okay. Pero bago yan, dapat nating malaman na sa pagtatapos ng lesson na ito ay dapat maintindihan natin at may differentiate natin ang verbal phrase to mathematical expression. Maliban dyan, kailangan din natin malaman kung paano i-translate ang verbal phrase to mathematical expression and vice versa. And give example of verbal phrase and a mathematical expression. To start with the lesson, so let us write these different pictures and let us identify this. Okay, so what does this picture represent? Okay, if you think that this picture represents no forking, so you're correct. How about this? Okay, so if you say that this is pedestrian lane, you're correct. And let's try this. Yes, that is a symbol for men. That's correct. And how about this? Yeah, it is also a traffic sign. Okay, if you say that, this is no U-turn, so that's correct. And how about this? Yes, that's right. That is no smoking. Okay, so these pictures or symbols represent different verbal phrase. So if we're going to translate this picture to understand at most is we need to identify what does the picture represent. That is related to the lesson that we're going to discuss today, which is how to translate algebraic expression into verbal phrase and vice versa, which is the verbal phrase translating to mathematical phrase. Okay, so let us do this. So before that we translate a verbal phrase, it is a must to understand what do we need to know in translating this different symbol into verbal. Of course, we need to analyze the statement before that we translate it. Okay, so for example, so we need to translate a certain expression. Like, how can we translate an expression, an equation, into numerical form? So when we said numerical form, that is in numbers, of course, or in mathematical expression. So we must understand the different symbol that is associated to the different words. Like for example, if we have 7 plus 5, verbally, we can say that that is the sum of 7 and 5. But if we are going to replace 7 by x, of course, the word 7 is replaced by a number because x is a variable and it represents any number. So, any letter in English alphabet can say a variable like P, R, N, T, and so on. So, that are an example of variable. Another example, if we have 10 plus a number. So, obviously, the word 10 is 10 and the word plus is plus. And a number certainly a variable. So we can use X or any letter in English alphabet. Here's another one. 10 more than a number. So if you observe that 10 plus a number plus word is substituted by more than. So more than means also addition. So then we can also say that 10 more than a number is also the same as X plus 10. So, which is a number more than 10 or 10 more than a number. So, that's it. How about this? We have 6 less than a number. 6, obviously, we're going to write 6. Then less than represent subtraction. So we have minus, and a number can represent by a variable n or any letter in English alphabet. So if we're going to observe and make it n minus 6, so that is not the same as 6 less than a number. We can say that is 6 less than or a number less than 6. Than is a switch word. So remember that if we have than, so you're going to switch the word like that. Here is another example. The difference of 3 and a number. Difference represents subtraction. So difference of 3, which is 3 and a number. And let us represent that as P or any letter in English alphabet. Pwede tayong gumamit ng iba pang mga letter. So, halimbawa, we're going to replace a number by twice a number plus 1. So, a number, a while ago, represented by P, but we put it twice so that we have 2P plus 1. So, we have now used the parentheses to separate independent groupings. That is the purpose of the parentheses. So, in order to identify the independent groupings in a word that we have, a number divided by 3 is 8. So, a number represented by a letter T and divided by 3, so over 3, and is 8. The word is equal to equal sign, or is means equal. Here is an example. So a number may represent by a variable, and then means which word, and independent groupings is parentheses, while the word is equal to the equal sign. There's another example. The product of a number and 9. The product of a number and 9. So the product means multiplication. So we can use that in order to represent multiplication. Or we can also eliminate the dot and just simply put a number in a variable, which is 9n. It means multiplication. Half a number decreased by 12. So decrease by means subtraction. That's why we have minus. Half a number. So half a number means you are going to divide it by 2 because that is half. So that's why we have x over 2 minus 12. So how about this? 3 times the difference of a number and 1. So 3 times the difference of a number and 1. So take note, 3 times the difference of a number and 1. So it indicates independent groupings also, which is the difference of a number and 1. That's why we use parentheses, which is difference of a number and 1, which is p minus 1, open and close parentheses, multiplied by 3, which is 3 times the difference of a number plus 1. So how about this? 20 times a number less than 2. There is also an independent groupings in the 2, which is 20 times a number. So what is that? 20 times a number less than 2. So, a while ago, we said to be that than means switch. So, we're going to switch the word. So, we switch the word, which is 20 times a number less than 2. So, 2 put in front and 20 times a number is 21. So, do not forget that if we have done, so mean the operation need is to switch the word in a sentence. The sum of 5 and square root of 8 times a number is 12. So, since we have the word sum, we have plus, which is 5, and the square root of 8 times a number is 12. The word is equal. So, the square root is the square root sign, which is 8 times a number. So, we have 8r, the sum of 5. So, we have 5 plus square root of 8r is equal to 12. So, that is the translation of the following verbal phrase into mathematical expression. So, study carefully the word that we put. The sum means plus. And of course, the word 5 is 5. And the square root of 8 times a number is 12. To translate verbal phrase into mathematical expression. So, what you need to do is to understand carefully and analyze the word that is needed into convert such statement into mathematical phrase. So remember that translating mathematical expression to verbal phrase require patience, coupled with inquisitive and logical thinking. So kailangan nating isiping mabuti at intindihin kung ano ang mga kinakailangan nating mathematical symbol na dapat nating ilagay. Any minor lapse in translation will give the equation or mathematical expression a different meaning. Which is, if you switch the number and the letter, so it gives us different meaning or different equivalent. So, here are things to remember in order to translate verbal phrase into mathematical expression. The word addition will indicate an increase and putting together or combining. Subtraction will indicate a lessening or diminishing action. Multiplication will indicate a multiplying action. Division will indicate partitioning, a quotient, and a ratio. So try to observe this. Addition means plus. Plus means increase by. Increase by means added to. Added to means the sum of. And the sum of means more than, and more than means total. So these are the different words. So these are the different words that we are going to use when we are going to perform addition. And we have subtraction, which is minus. Another is decrease by, subtracted from, the difference of, diminished by, less than. Multiplication means times, multiplied by, the product of. And then division is division divided by ratio of the quotient of. These are the different words that is associated to the different operation in mathematics. So, let us convert an expression into verbal statement, which is, for example, if we have 2x plus 4. So, if we're going to state this verbally, that is simply 2x plus 4. That's it. How about if we're going to translate this into verbal statement? So we can say that this is 2 times a number, which is, you can say that 2 times a number increase by 4. So that's it. We can also say that twice a number added by 4. So these are the things that we can use in order to translate 2x plus 4 into verbal statement. Okay, so how about you? How will you translate 2x plus 4? Using another word associated to the word addition. Going back to what are expected to learn in this lesson, after that we discussed how to translate mathematical or verbal phrase into mathematical expression, let us differentiate verbal phrase to mathematical expression. So when we said verbal phrase, it is a statement composed of words, while mathematical expression is the statement composed of numbers and symbols. So that is the difference between verbal and mathematical expression. And how do we translate verbal phrase to mathematical expression and vice versa? Of course, it is very clear that we need to understand the different words associated to the different operation on mathematics. Like for example, when we said addition, the different word associated to this is plus, total, added, more than, increase, and sum. So these are different words associated to the given operation, like addition. And if we have subtraction, of course, the word associated to this is diminish, subtracted, minus, less. So these are the words in subtraction. So in multiplication, so we have multiply, the product, so thrice, twice a number, so something like that. And in division, so we have divided by, the quotient, the ratio of, so over. So these are different words to understand in order to translate verbal phrase to mathematical expression and vice versa. So give example of verbal phrase and mathematical expression. Of course, when we said verbal phrase, as what I said, so that is, you're going to translate, for example, you are going to give an example of verbal phrase. For example, the sum of two numbers. So since the statement that we give is group of words, this is an example of verbal phrase. And how about if we're going to give a mathematical expression? For example, we're going to convert the sum of two numbers. Since we don't know the two numbers, so we're going to represent it by variable. It is simply, for example, we have A plus B, something like that. So that is an example of the sum of two numbers. Or we can say that X plus Y. So that is also an example of the sum of two numbers, because we represent the two number by a variable since we didn't know the number. But we're going to give an example, the sum of 7 and 8, or something like that. So we have 7 and we have 8 words. So we're going to 7 and 8. Yeah, so that is an example of another verbal phrase. So we have the sum of 7 and 8, so we're not using variable because the number is indicated, that is 7 and also 8. So the number that we're going to use is 8 and 7, which is, we can write that the sum of 7 and 8, so we have, that is equal to 7 plus 8. Something like that. The sum of 7 and 8 is equal to 7 plus 8. We are not using the variable because the number is indicated. So that's it. So I hope that you understand the lesson that we discussed today. So let us share your thoughts. What do you think is the significance of translating verbal phrase to mathematical phrase? So you may comment your answer on the comment box of this video. How about this? Cite one real-life situation that demonstrates the importance of translating verbal phrase to mathematical phrase. Okay, so that is our lesson for today. So, which is, we translate mathematical verbal phrase into mathematical statement. I hope that you learn to our lesson for today. And thank you for watching my video.